Slot 2 was widely regarded to be the toughest slot in CAT 23. But even there, you have easy RCs like this RC and the RC that I'm going to solve with you tomorrow. And that's something which you have to remember, because even in a tough slot, you're going to have one or two easy RCs, and it's your job to find those easy RCs, stay calm, don't panic, and solve those. Remember that if you're in a tough slot, the marks required to hit whatever percentiles will come down, and you could also get extra marks because of normalization. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube and you want to work on your test strategy, then you can sign up for a mock pack at mockcat.com. We have 25 CAT mocks and 45 CAT style sectionals, and for every mock, you are going to have a live analysis session where you can interact with Vignesh and me and take our guidance, get your queries answered, and craft a test taking approach which will work for you based on your prep and your strengths. Starting with this passage, the second-hand September campaign led by Oxfam seeks to encourage shopping at local organizations and charities as alternatives to fast fashion brands in the name of saving our planet. So second-hand September, probably it means buying, maybe clothes or buying something second-hand. I'm guessing clothes because we are speaking about fast fashion brands. Or typically fast fashion is used in the context of clothes, where you have, we don't have these brands in India, but then, you have certain brands like Zara and all where they quickly come up with collections. So this is an alternative, buying second-hand, buying at local organizations and even charities. And what is the benefit? It's going to save our planet. As innocent as mindless scrolling through online shops may seem, such consumers are unintentionally or perhaps even knowingly contributing to an industry that uses more energy than aviation. So the clothing industry or the online shopping industry is actually using a lot of energy. Brits buy more garments than any other country in Europe. So it comes as no shock that many of those clothes end up in UK landfills each year, 300,000 tons of them to be exact. So there's a lot of waste of clothes. This waste of clothing is destructive to the planet, releasing greenhouse gases as clothes are burnt, as well as bleeding toxins and dyes into the surrounding soil and water. As ecologist Chelsea Rockman bluntly puts it, the mismanagement of our waste has even come back to haunt us on our dinner plate. So what are the advantages that we have with second-hand shopping? Less energy usage, less waste, less greenhouse gas emissions. I'm going to just put it as CO2 in short, as well as less toxins and dyes and stuff. So toxins is again enough for me to get an idea. So by buying clothes secondhand, there's less energy usage because clothes seem to use a lot of energy. There's also less wastage. We are buying somebody else's clothes, so those are not wasted. There's less greenhouse gas emissions because clothes would be burnt and those toxins and dyes would also be released into soil and water. So that also is being prevented. Now the other thing which we've understood is that this passage is based in the UK because this paragraph starts with Brits buy more garments than any other country in Europe. It's not surprising then that people are scrambling for a solution, the most common of which is second-hand shopping. So there are multiple solutions, but second-hand shopping is the most common. Retailers selling consigned clothing are currently expanding at a rapid rate. Now we can infer that consigned clothing probably also means second-hand clothes because we are being told that second-hand shopping is the most common. So most likely this paragraph is going to be about second-hand clothes. So this must mean second-hand clothes. If everyone bought just one used item in a year, it would save 449 million pounds of waste, equivalent to the weight of 1 million polar bears. So if everybody bought just one used item, there's a huge amount of waste which is being prevented. Thrifting has increasingly become a trendy practice. So thrifting again must mean, buying somebody else's clothes. So it's also something which is now trending. London is home to many second-hand or more commonly coined vintage shops across the city. Places are fine. Now another advantage is this is also something which is trending. It's also something which is popular. So you're cool and you care about the planet. You've killed two birds with one stone. So two advantages. One is we're saving the planet and we're also cool because we're doing something that's trending. But very important word, you must have read this in my focus read module. Do people simply purchase a second-hand item, flash it on Instagram with hashtag vintage and call it a day without considering whether what they're doing is actually effective? So now with the word but, we understand that maybe this is where the author's view starts. The author has told us that there are so many benefits to second-hand clothes. It's helping the planet. Now the author is is questioning that. Is it actually effective? Not effective about the trending part, of course, but is it actually effective in saving the planet? So since the author is asking this question, let's keep reading. Let's figure out what is the answer. Are secondhand clothes helping the planet or not? According to a study commissioned by Patagonia, for instance, older clothes shed more microfibers. So now we have the flip side. When we are buying older clothes, obviously when we are buying second-hand clothes, they're older, so they end up shedding more microfibers. These can end up in our rivers and seas after just one wash due to the worn material. Because these are old, because these are worn, in one wash itself, they will start shedding more fibers, thus contributing to microfiber pollution. To break it down, the amount of microfibers released by laundering 100,000 fleece jackets is equivalent to as many as 11, almost 12,000 plastic grocery bags. Up to 40% of that ends up in the ocean. So it's a high amount. So on the flip side, we have more microfiber shedding or more microfiber pollution. So where does this leave second-hand consumers? They would be well advised to buy high-quality items that shed less and last longer, as this combats both microfiber pollution and excess garments ending up in landfills. So instead of buying cheap clothing, the solution to this, I'll just put an arrow to signify solution. You can also write S or SOLN or something like that. So we should buy high-quality clothes. High-quality clothes will have less microfiber and they will also last longer. So they are long lasting. So that again reduces the waste and all of that. So when we end up buying old clothes, what happens, because they're already worn, especially if they're low quality, they end up shedding more microfibers, and that is something which then again contributes to pollution, impacts the ocean and so on. So the solution for that is we need to buy high quality clothes, because one, they're going to shed less. Second, because it's high quality, we'll probably end up wearing them more rather than maybe just trashing it after a year or something like that. Luxury brands would rather not circulate their latest season stock around the globe to be sold at a cheaper price, which is why companies like ThreadUp, a US fashion resale marketplace, have not yet caught on in the UK. Now, this seems to be a second issue. Luxury brands, they don't want to circulate their latest season stock around the globe to be sold at a cheaper price. So what's happening if we are buying something second-hand? Of course, we're buying it at a lower price. So one problem which we had was microfiber shedding. Another problem which we have is that luxury companies don't seem to want this, right? So luxury companies don't want their products to be sold secondhand at a cheaper price. There will always be a market for consignment. Now, we'd already figured out that consignment means second-hand clothes. So there'll always be a market for second-hand clothes. Now, that's important. There are going to be some companies who will be okay with it. It's only luxury companies that are not okay. So there'll always be a market for consignment, but again, important, there's also a whole generation of people who've been taught that only buying new products is the norm. Second-hand luxury goods are not in their psyche. So the companies don't want, and the buyers also don't want to buy second-hand clothes. They've been taught, or this sort of something which is ingrained, that we have to buy things new. Ben Whitaker, so some expert, he says, unless recycling becomes cost effective and filters into mass production with the right technology to partner it, high-end retailers would rather put brand before sustainability. So what is the solution for this? The solution for this is recycling has to become better. This is something which is going to happen in the future. This is not there at present, because we know that when clothes are burned, there's like greenhouse gas emissions, toxins, dyes, and so on. And even the way it's mentioned, right? Whitaker is saying that recycling has to become, one, cost effective and filter into mass production. Until that happens, high-end retailers or these luxury companies or these these retailers which sell luxury brands, they are going to focus more on the brand. They don't really care about sustainability as much, or for them, the priority is protecting their brand value and not protecting the planet, right? So from here, we can infer that the author's view is actually more negative about second-hand clothes. While it seems like there are all of these positives, it's only in the second half of the passage that we get to know that there are multiple negatives. If these are comparatively cheaper second-hand clothes, there'll actually be more microfiber shedding and pollution. And buying high-quality clothes as an alternative also will not work, at least in the luxury space, because luxury retailers or luxury brands and luxury buyers, those who buy luxury brands, neither of them want to buy stuff secondhand. So ultimately, it looks like right now there's no solution. The solution could potentially come in the future if recycling is something which becomes cost effective so that it can be done in a larger scale in the form of mass production. So, net net, the author is negative about second-hand clothes, or at least questioning it and saying that it's not very effective. Now that we've understood the author's view, it becomes easy for us to answer this. The central idea of the passage would be undermined if. So we're going to look at the left-hand side of my notes and try to answer. Primark and Boohoo recycle their clothes for vintage stores. Now, Primark and Boohoo are the examples given for fast fashion. Now, if fast fashion retailers are recycling their clothes, it's not undermining for two reasons. One, it's only luxury companies which are resisting, thrifting or second-hand sales. These definitely are not luxury; these are fast fashion. And second is, if at all they are recycled, while it is reducing waste and reducing energy, because we know that they'll shed microfiber, this is still leading to a lot of damage. So I can eliminate this option because it's not undermining the author's view. Customers bought all their clothes online. This is actually something which is sort of going in line with what the author is saying. In the beginning, the author said that, whether intentionally or unintentionally, if you're shopping online, that's something which is damaging the planet. So nothing which is sort of taking away. Now you might think, but, we are being told that second-hand is something which is becoming popular. But that could just mean that, we would buy second-hand clothes online instead of buying them in local shops and so on, right? So that definitely could be an option. In fact, we've been given an example of ThreadUp, which is a US fashion resale marketplace, which is actually online. So even if you don't know that, you can infer this way and eliminate this option. Second-hand stores sold only high-quality clothes. This is something which is undermining the author's view because we know that there's a lot of microfiber shedding which happens for second-hand clothes. But if they are high quality, then they're not going to have that much microfiber shedding. So this potentially could be the right answer. Let's see if option 4 is undermining even more. Otherwise, we'll go with this. Clothes were not thrown and burnt in landfills. This is also undermining or weakening the author's view because if clothes are not burnt or thrown in landfills, then the greenhouse gas emission or the toxins and dyes part is not there. However, energy usage and more waste, all of that will definitely be there, and it's also not taking away from the issues with second-hand clothes. So if clothes are not thrown or burnt in landfills, but maybe they are sold second-hand or they are in some form they are destroyed, it's still going to either have these issues or it's going to lead to these. So we can eliminate option 4 as well and go for the third option, which is really undermining the author's view. In such a question, if you're torn between option 3 and any other option, try to remember the central point that the author is saying, right? But the central idea of the passage is what? Second-hand clothes are not actually saving the environment as much as people think that they are. So we're looking for something which is undermining that. Now that should make you more confident that yes, option 3 is the right choice. The art of thrifting, as described in the passage, can be considered ironic because thrifting is nothing but buying clothes secondhand, right? That's something which is given in the passage. Something which is ironic is something which seems paradoxical, or basically it is logical, but it seems illogical. It doesn't seem to make sense. So what is the thing which doesn't make sense? A lot of people think that second-hand clothes are actually good. It seems to sort of kill two birds with one stone. It's really saving the planet. But the reality is it might not be saving the planet. One, because a large chunk of companies, the luxury companies, don't want to do it. And second, if you have clothes also, that's still leading to pollution unless it is high quality. So that is probably what we are looking for. And that's something which is there in the first option itself, right? Thrifting, which was thought to save the planet, has actually created environmental problems. So this should ideally be the right answer. Thrifting is not an anti-consumerist attitude. A consumerist attitude is I want to buy stuff, right? And if you're buying stuff secondhand, you're still buying stuff, right? So this we can eliminate. It's also not ironic by any means. It's not cost effective for retailers. This is probably true. If I was going out and buying maybe 10 items of clothing in a year, and now I end up buying only 5 or 6 new, and then the remaining I'm buying second hand, then obviously the retailer is selling less, especially if a lot of us are doing this. But this is not something which is ironic. This is something which is straightforward. If you're buying more stuff second hand, then the retailers, the sellers are going to have less revenue. Of course, it is the sellers of new clothes. You will also have these consignment shops and all who are making revenue. So you could look at it this way that maybe it is still cost effective for retailers. However, the easier way to eliminate it is because it is not ironic. The fourth option is just wrong. Luxury clothing is something which is not not being sold secondhand because neither the luxury brands nor the buyers want to buy it secondhand. So we are not actually getting luxury clothing at cut rate prices. So we can eliminate this and go for the first option. Based on the passage, we can infer that the opposite of fast fashion, slow fashion, would most likely refer to clothes that. Now we know that fast fashion is clothes by, some of those brands which are given in the beginning, Primark and all, where people are buying them a lot, but that is requiring a lot of energy, leading to a lot of waste, toxins, and so on and so forth. So we're looking for something which is the opposite of that. Now, if you see, we have option 1, 2, and 4, which are all in some way or form different from fast fashion, right? We know that relatively cheaper clothes, they shed more microfiber. So slow fashion potentially doesn't shed microfiber. It should also not bleed toxins and dyes. However, both of these actually are smaller characteristics, right? They are attacking, or they are the opposite of fast fashion with respect to one characteristic. So this one is, talking about the microfiber part, and this one is talking about the toxins and dyes part. Whereas if you see, if you have clothes which are high quality and long lasting, that is sort of attacking everything. We know that high quality clothes are going to shed less, and because they're going to last longer, there's going to be less wastage, and hence obviously, less toxins and dyes, because, if I need to buy 5 fast fashion items because each of them lasts only 6-7 months or about a year, versus I have one high quality piece which lasts me 4 or 5 years, obviously there is less wastage with high quality clothes. So that is the option we go for instead of going for option 1 or 4. Here, tactically, if you are torn between, let's say, 1 and 2 or 2 and 4, you've got to ask yourself, when you look at 1 and 4, both of these are issues with fast fashion. So how could you choose one over the other? Since both of them are issues, we can eliminate both and go for the more overarching answer. Now, coming to the third option, fast fashion or slow fashion, both could be sold by genuine vintage stores. It's not that, vintage stores or secondhand stores are not going to sell fast fashion secondhand. So this is not like an opposite of fast fashion. So we'll eliminate it. According to the author, companies like ThredUp have not caught on in the UK for all of the following reasons except. This word except is extremely important. What this means is 3 out of these 4 options are reasons for why ThredUp has not caught on in the UK. We've got to eliminate that. Whatever is left becomes the right answer. So we know that the whole part about ThredUp not having caught on in the UK is related to luxury brands. Luxury brands don't want to sell their stock at a cheaper price. There are some people who tend to buy things new. They've been sort of culturally taught that that is the norm. So these are the issues which are there. So we're going to look for reasons like this and eliminate it, and whatever's left becomes the answer. Recycling is not currently financially attractive for luxury brands. This is a reason because we know that they don't want their goods to be sold at a lower price. So we can eliminate this. Luxury brands do not like their product to be devalued. Again, the same thing. If you see option 1 and 2, pretty much the same, right? Devalued, value is reducing. As a result, what is happening? It becomes financially unattractive because why will I buy something, say, for 1 lakh today if I can get it, or I see somebody else, buying it for maybe 50,000 and wearing it, right? So both of these are somewhat on similar lines. The British don't buy second-hand clothing. This is wrong. We know that there is a generation of people, there is a set of people who've been taught that only buying new products is the norm. But we also know that there will always be a market for consignment, and somewhere else we've been told that this is a popular solution. Yeah, the most common solution is second-hand shopping. So this is wrong. It's not all of the British who don't buy second-hand clothing. If this was something like some Britishers don't buy second-hand clothing, then this would definitely have been a reason. But because this implies that, nobody in Britain or majority of British people don't want to buy second-hand clothing, that is what makes it wrong. So this doesn't seem to be an extreme option because you don't have words like, must or all or anything like that. But you've got to interpret it that way. When we say the British, it means a majority of British people. So whenever you have an option like that, you should make sure that you check it out. The fourth option is also something which is given because we have been told that high-end retailers will put brand before sustainability. So these luxury brands or, the retailers that are selling these brands, they are concerned about the brand value or the brand image. So we can eliminate this as well. And 3, of course, is our answer. So that's it for this RC, and come off tomorrow and solve the next RC. And if you are prepping for CAT and you want a high percentile and you want to prep with 99.9 plus percentilers, then what are you waiting for? Sign up at mockcat.com right away.